Fueled by Deathcast.
Obviously, we love everything that you've done with the Toys That Made Us. What an incredible idea that is. And this just kind of is piggybacking on that nostalgia bomb. Like, did you have this idea going when you were doing toys, or were they two separate kind of ideas, or how did that come to be?
I actually had this idea long before toys.
Oh.
And if I hopefully remember correctly what I told you, toys was my, whenever I develop a show and I can't sell it, I call it a broken arrow.
Uh-huh.
And toys was one of two, actually I had three broken arrows. One was toys, one was the show we're doing with History Channel all about President Grant, and this was the third one. So, so this predates toys by years, like 3 or 4 years. But, one of the things about selling a TV show is, I always say it's like the odds of selling a show in the 2 to 5 weeks of trying to sell a specific show is very low.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep pitching over and over and over again until the timing works out. But I think part of the reason timing worked out in 2018 and not in 2014 or 2015 or whatever is partially because, as you know, nostalgia is a big deal now, and it wasn't that big a deal 5 years ago. But also the success of Toys That Made Us. I was having lunch with an executive from the CW who I have lunch with for years, 2 or 3 times a year. And, he was going on and on and on about Toys That Made Us and was like, do you have anything else like that we could do? And that's what led to this show getting greenlit at the CW. So even though this came first, I think it was very helped along by its ancestor, the Toys That Made Us.
That's awesome. Now, I mean, going down, discontinued food, toys, businesses, that kind of stuff. Obviously, there's ones that jump to my mind immediately, like Blockbuster Video or Crystal Pepsi or something like that. But, can you talk about any of the ones that maybe were surprising to you? Anything that is in store for us without giving too much away? Anything that's in store for us on the show?
Well, I mean, to a certain extent, and it's funny. One of the pods we're doing is Blockbuster. One of the things similar to toys is all of these things that we dug into. It's never, just using Blockbuster as the example. If you ask 100 people on the street, hey, why did Blockbuster go bankrupt? I bet you 95 say, oh, because of Netflix. Netflix definitely played a part in it, but it wasn't just Netflix. Like, there was a lot of things that Blockbuster had done and mistakes they had made in addition to Netflix. So what I learned from making this show was very often the thing that we think is the thing that chops the head off of a company is usually the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Right.
It's rarely the thing that actually killed them. So that is probably the main lesson that I learned with this show.